It's Taco Tuesday again on Left Off the Map, and I'm not doing a taco, but I am doing a Mexican-inspired dish. I'm doing Mexican or sweet chili beans on toast. So it's a good breakfast dish or a brunch dish for the weekend. And the good thing is our black beans and sweet chili are ready to go. So it's just a matter of coming up with some things to go with that. The first thing I want to do, well, I'm serving mine with asparagus and a fried egg. I'm going to use my tomatoes and my onion to make a bit of a sugo or a base for our beans to go into. So that's the first thing I'm going to get onto. I'm going to saute my onion with a little bit of garlic and some de-seeded Roma tomatoes and make a base sugo, and then my beans will go onto that sugo. That's my, for lack of a better word, my sugo done. And sugo is just a basic tomato sauce. It's probably closer to a sofrito, which is onion, garlic, tomato cooked down. But that's the base of my, turn that off. That's the base of my sauce that my black beans are going to go into. So we'll pop our black beans in now. Now, black beans do have a sauce in them. They've got a sweet chili sauce, obviously. That's what it says on the packet. But that's going to go really well with our tomato base. We'll pop those in. Now, I just want to heat this bean mixture through. I'm going to add in some fresh parsley. And asparagus is one of those things, I think, until you've had asparagus raw, you don't understand how delicious asparagus is. It's really fresh. It tastes like garden peas. So fresh potted peas, I think, when you have it fresh. So I'm going to chop that quite fine, and that's going to go on at the end of the dish. So my parsley is going to go in there now. I've got a handful of flat leaf parsley. So we're not going to cook this too much more. I don't want this parsley to wilt too much. I want it to stay nice and fresh. So probably just a little gentle heat on that to warm those beans through. And then that'll be done. I can move that off to the side and get ready to cook my egg. Parsley in. All right, we'll give this a try. It's nice and sweet. That sweet chili is definitely there. It's more sweeter than it is chillier. I don't know if that is a word, but that should make sense to you. So there's not a huge amount of heat, but there's a nice sweetness to it. So my bean mixture is done. I'm happy with that. Asparagus out ready. My egg's good. I need to get my toast ready as well. So I want to cut some sourdough. 2 pieces. I'm going to cook these in a little bit of oil in a fry pan. And then I'll use that fry pan to finish my egg off. Griddle pan will work perfectly. Pop that on the heat. On top of my sourdough, drizzle a little bit of oil. All right. Covered nicely with oil, turn it over, oil on the other side, into our griddle pan until we get some char marks or some bar marks on it, and then that can come out. While that's cooking, I can get my asparagus ready, and then it's all going to come together. My beans are done. I added a little bit of parsley to that just at the end to keep it nice and fresh. My egg is like 30 seconds away from being finished. My toast is ready to go. I've got some nice bar marks on that, which is what I wanted from that griddle pan. I'm gonna finish with my fresh asparagus on top, a little bit of lemon juice, some olive oil and salt. So we're ready to go. Like I said, this is a great brunch dish. So I think it's 11 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. You're hungry. People always wonder, how do you get the top of the egg to cook at the same time as the bottom of the egg? If you put a lid on top of that, the steam that gets caught on the inside will circulate around and you'll cook the top of the egg. Or, if you've got a blowtorch, you can just blowtorch the top of the egg, which is what I'm gonna do. So that little bit of heat from the top will set that protein and you'll end up with a set egg. All right, time to bring it together. Our beans. A great mixture of sweet chilli, our base tomato, onion and garlic. Some nice corn in there. It's got that nice sort of chilli or sweet, I should probably say sweet more than chilli flavour, which I love. So you want a good covering of that over all of your sourdough. And our egg can come out. We'll pop our egg on top. So, asparagus, I'm just gonna put it on raw and then I'm gonna dress it once it gets on there. So I've shaved asparagus on the side. And I've left, instead of cutting all the way down to the spears, I've actually left the spears so that sort of, you've got these whole asparagus spears that you can sit around. Now, I'm just dressing my asparagus here. So a little bit of lemon juice over my asparagus, pinch of salt over everything, and then drizzle of olive oil over our asparagus, and then over everything. I love black pepper on eggs, and I love black pepper with asparagus, so good crack of black pepper. So that's it, a great way to start a Sunday, I think. My beans, sweet chilli and toast. Now we're gonna go join Henry Terry on the east coast of Tasmania. He's catching up with the people who own Freycinet Marine Farm. He's gonna learn a little about marine farming.
Hugh, thanks very much for having me at Freycinet Marine Farm. This looks incredible, and you're the head chef responsible for doing the best seafood Tassie has to offer.
At the moment, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm in a very lucky place being here on the Freycinet Peninsula.
Yeah.
We have an abundance of, you know, beautiful seafood. I suppose the marine farm itself is famous. We grow our own mussels and oysters, which you can see here on the table, and then we just use other local Tasmanian seafood to, you know, enhance the menu a little more.
Bolster it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, you've got an amazing reputation. Everyone all around Tassie, I know, everyone just flocks to the farm for both the tours, but also to enjoy the food at the restaurant. I mean, it must be amazing getting to work with this produce. How's it all sourced, and what do you, like, how do you do justice to this sort of food?
Look, it's, you know, being an oyster and mussel farm, I suppose we're lucky that we have, you know, access to fresh mussels and oysters every day.
Yeah.
You know, our Pacific oysters that Giles and Julia grow, I know you're off to the farm shortly, but, you know, we harvest every day, so they're fresh. People can come in here and just have them natural, which is probably the ones we've got here. Very lucky at the moment. We're actually the only mussel supplier in Tasmania at the moment. There is no other mussel farm in Tassie now.
I find that so interesting because I was having a chat about this on the way here. No one eats, well, I know lots of people eat mussels, but they're not on the regular.
Well, they're just so hard to get.
Yeah,
you know, we get phone calls daily at the moment trying to you know, get our mussels, but we only are selling to a very few select places, you know, Sapphire and and a few others, and the rest of them are sold through the shop.
Okay.
So pretty amazing at the moment. And we've even sent them as far as some of the to restaurants in Sydney, and you know, so
they do get abroad. They
small amounts.
Yeah,
so when talking high-end restaurants, they're off, you know, Peter Gilmore's asked for them and so on.
Yeah.
We just recently, as of 6 weeks ago, we won the best seafood product in Australia for our mussels.
Okay.
So that's beaten every fish or oyster or anything, abalone or pearl meat or anything. So it's pretty unique.
Yeah, so what have we got? What have we got here?
Okay, here you've got some oysters, so Pacific oysters, our oysters. They are just beautiful at the moment. I mean, oysters do have a season like anything. There's, you know, good times and bad times. Winter and spring, they're probably at their best. Well, they are at their best.
Why is that?
Well, they spawn in the warmer weather, so called about late January is the time they spawn, and they lose all their conditions. So at the moment, they're just fat. They're probably getting, you know, in a few more months, they'll be very sexually active. So they're just putting on weight now and looking attractive.
So you want a sexually active oyster?
So at the moment, they're in their prime. So these are just being freshly shucked, and then you've got some sauce mignonette, which is the classic eschalot and red wine vinegar. Scallops here. So the scallop season has just about come to an end of fresh scallops. So we've got these beautiful half-shell scallops, and then we make a butter of our mussels that we blend, we cook them and then blend it into butter and saffron and a few other ingredients, and then just grill them on the half shell.
That's what I can smell. It smells beautiful.
Look, the good old fish and chips, you know, it is what it is, but I have to say we get so many comments on our fish and chips.
I've got to jump in because this is what everyone in Tassie come, like they come for the oysters, but amongst my mates in my age demographic, everyone's just the best fish and chips.
Yeah, it is. It's just beautiful fresh fish, Tassie caught, and, you know, a lovely beer batter, and it's, simple but great. Then you've got the mussels here. This is a fixture, when I say a fixture on the menu, it's been on a while, but we changed quite a few of the mussel dishes around. This is with the tomato and chilli. It's funny, there's always Kilpatrick on. They're for the people that say they love oysters, but they can't eat them unless they're Kilpatrick, which is fine. So you've got the bacon there and the barbecue sauce, kind of the Worcestershire barbecue sauce base. And then the other ones there are steamed with ginger and mirin, soy and shallot.
Magic.
So, you know, it's probably what you're seeing here is, I don't know, what have we got, 5 dishes? It's probably a fifth of what we offer.
Yeah.
You know, depending on the season, we could have, you know, abalone, we'll have crays. And they were very popular last year. It was summer because of the market. That was a real treat for people visiting Tassie.
Beautiful, beautiful. One last question. I am fascinated. I want to know what it is you need to look for. So, in a sexually active oyster, what does someone look at? What are we looking at?
Well, you can see here, I mean, it's plump. I mean, if you turn it around, you're looking for you know, quite a large shell, a deep shell, because that's where you can see the meat inside the shell itself. The oyster's going to be
So that's going to indicate how much meat's in there.
I mean, I've turned these. We don't normally turn them, but it's plump. Smells good, and I think probably the best thing if you're game is
straight down the hatch. Beautiful. They are plump.
Yeah, they're beautiful at the moment.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, thank you so much for your time, Hugh, and all this food. I'm going to have an absolutely great time.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see everybody at the Marine Farm.
Beautiful.
Great, thank you.
I can't believe MasterChef for me was 9 years ago now. Was it 9 years ago? Yeah, 9 years ago, 2012. And that means that some of the recipes that I came up with or that I liked back then have almost come back into vogue. It's been almost a generation. And one of the dishes that we used to make in the house, Andy and I would make all the time, was pasta bakes, because they were simple, they were tasty, and they filled you up. And we were both, I was a lot younger than I am now, 9 years younger, and we used to eat quite a lot, so having a big pasta bake was always handy. And that's what I'm gonna make today, a pasta bake. But I'm gonna make, we did it back then, we did a chili and tuna pasta bake. I'm doing a sweet chili and chicken pasta bake. We've got a sweet chili jam, or a chili jam, that I've made in a past episode that I'm gonna use as the base to really drive the flavour in this dish. Arrabbiata, which is my favourite Barilla sauce, that's what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna try something a little different as well. I'm gonna cook my penne in a mushroom stock. So I've got dehydrated mushrooms here. I'm gonna pop them into boiling water. When you pop them into boiling water, they rehydrate and they flavour the water. And that's what I'm gonna cook my pasta in. Okay, so there's two real components here. There's one, make the sauce, and two, cook the pasta. Cooking the pasta is pretty simple, and that's just gonna be my mushrooms, some boiling water in a pot with the pasta. So I'm gonna sit that over there for now, because that's only gonna take 10 minutes. My sauce itself is gonna take a little bit longer. A bigger saucepan to start. And I wanna mimic the same flavours that are in that pasta. I'm gonna get some of the same flavours by cooking off some mushrooms. So just got button mushrooms, some reasonably large button mushrooms, roughly chopped. I'm gonna saute them in my chili jam. So into my pot, my mushrooms, a little bit of olive oil, some salt. Normally when you start cooking things, if you're sauteing off some onion and some garlic, onion and mushrooms or anything like that, put in your oil and then put in a pinch of salt. Especially with mushrooms. Mushrooms are big sponges. The salt will start to extract the moisture out of the mushroom and start to dehydrate the mushroom, which is the whole purpose of cooking it. Pot on. I'm gonna let that cook for probably 2 or 3 minutes until we've probably collapsed half of the mushrooms that are in there. So driven out about half of the water. And then I'm gonna start to put in some of my chili jam. Once I've got that to the consistency I want, so the jam and mushroom mixture is right, my chicken mince will go in. Now the pasta component. Boiling water, a good amount of salt so we can take that into our pasta. Our dehydrated mushrooms, so we can start rehydrating them and start getting some flavour into that water. Penne rigate. So 10 minutes for our pasta to cook. Once our pasta's cooked, we'll strain that off, and then our sauce and our pasta come together, and we put it in a big baking tray, a little bit of cheese on top, and into the oven. My pasta and my reconcentrated mushrooms have been strained. I haven't rinsed them because I want the starch that's on the outside of that pasta to help thicken our sauce. So I'm gonna pop some of our pasta, probably 3/4 of it, into that bowl, and then all of our sauce into that bowl. Just to get a feel for what our ratio to sauce to pasta is. And see if I can add any more pasta, which I think I'm probably going to be able to. There's a nice amount of sauce there. We've got a good mixture of pasta to sauce. We can go into our tray. Now most bakes will have a little bit of cheese or pangrotto or some sort of topping there to give it some texture. I've got this cheese here, it's a Rubicon Red. It's a Gloucester cheese from Astrobe, Tasmania. I've got a speed peeler. Just gonna shave little pieces off. So now that I've got all these strips, I'm just gonna lay them out almost like they are pieces of pasta that are sitting in amongst everything. That goes in the oven, 180 degrees. The bake only needs about 20 minutes in there because we've just got to melt that cheese. So we'll check and see if our cheese is melted, which it is, so that can come out. Now you've got a bowl here for probably someone who is hungry. And a bowl for someone who might just be having a taste, bit of an entree style. There we go. An entree and a main size of our sweet chilli pasta bake, using mushroom stock to cook our pasta in, which I think you end up with a dish that really, there's nothing in there that's filler. It is all absolute thriller.